if you just wait like half an hour.
I clicked on already. It's making a video. Oh. What's this video going to be about?
My dick.
Show it. Get it out. Get it out.
No, that's illegal on the YouTubes. They're gonna sue me. Better call the police. Oof. And Charlie's bringing a tattoo machine. So you're gonna do the tattoos today. You're gonna make one on me, Charlie, and Daniel. That's like a brotherhood thing.
Oh, that's cool.
You can do one on yourself too, also. Like, you're allowed in the brotherhood too. There's no genders. It's just brotherhood.
You look beautiful.
I only slept like 5 hours because I had a deep talk with my friend all night. He was high on stuffs, so he had a long, deep chat with me all night. And then I woke up early now, so I barely slept. So I feel really good, but at the same time I feel really tired. And then you got lost in the woods, so I've been like running around in the woods screaming Olla for like half an hour also. With no result until I actually get home, and we're like, fuck it, we go home and check. And then you just got home as we like come back. You got completely lost.
I'm a lost soul.
But you gotta be lost to get found.
That's what you told your friend
Yeah,
yesterday.
I told my friend that yesterday. He's like, I'm lost. And I was like, well, you can't be found if you're not lost first, so that's life. And like a general advice that I said also is like, because he was saying over and over again, like, I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be an addict. I don't want to be like this. And I was like, bro, instead of saying what you don't want, say what you actually want, because the brain doesn't hear the don't. I don't want to be this. Your brain hears, I want to be this.
It's just the focus. If you're giving energy to something, like
yeah, but the
quitting smoking.
I agree, but the subconscious doesn't hear the don't.
Yeah.
The subconscious hears, I want to be an addict.
Yeah.
It doesn't hear, don't want to
like
be
the
an
smoking. If you repeatedly say, I don't want to smoke, you're still focusing on smoking with your choice of words.
addict.
Somebody said before, if you instead were to
Say,
say,
I want to be sober.
or I want to run a marathon,
Yeah,
or
but
I want to
if you
swim
want to
this many
do
lengths.
like the duality of it, it would be saying that I want to be sober instead of I don't want to smoke.
Yeah. For a long time, I would think I don't want to get pregnant all the time. And then I would always have this fear feeling like the more I focus on not wanting to get pregnant, the closer I bring myself to getting pregnant. So then I was like, so what's the opposite? Also. What's the opposite of not being pregnant? Being the only soul that resides inside of my body? I started finding all these clever ways of reinforcing what I actually wanted.
That's like, I just want...
There is no such thing as not being pregnant without saying the words pregnant. It's
That's
just
a tricky
being.
one.
It is a tricky one. I ended up settling
But it
on...
would be like, I just want to be...
For me, I settled for I want to be the only soul residing inside of my body.
That makes sense, but it's a tricky one.
It is a tricky one, huh?
I never thought about that.
I was always shooting myself in the foot with that one and paranoid and shit.
But it's like a general advice in everything. It's like, we'll be what we tell ourselves we don't want to be. Instead of telling ourselves what we don't want to be, we should tell ourselves what we want to be.
Yeah.
And it's like almost, it's like the same. It's like we are what we tell ourselves, and that's not only like spirituality or anything, that's psychology and everything. Like, that's how people, like, that's how you get depressed. You tell yourself, you never get depressed first through your body. A shitty situation happened, and then you tell yourself over and over again that you feel depressed until you're like, okay, I'm depressed. I'm fucked. I gotta go to the doctor. And they're gonna tell me I'm clinically depressed and that it's a disease and there's something wrong with me and I gotta eat a pill. But in reality, I've just been making my reality with my thoughts and thinking over and over again, I'm depressed, I'm this, I'm bipolar, I'm sick. You made yourself sick. How did it feel? I don't know. I've never told myself over and over again that I'm depressed. Never told myself that. Like, I've felt bad in a situation, but I've never, by feeling bad in the situation, told myself over and over again in my mind that, like, I'm depressed. I'm depressed. Oh, fuck, I'm so depressed. I'm so sad. I'm so fucked. I'm sick. For me, it's just a natural part of life. Like, to feel a bit down sometimes. It's not a sickness. How can you have happiness without sadness sometimes, or like happiness without depression? And you don't have to label it depression, it's just happiness. You cannot you cannot go up without going down all the time until you transcend duality. And no one transcends duality in their teenage years. Well, someone probably does, some child Buddha growing up in the woods without programming from society and parents that are completely centered, but no one really grows up without duality until you transcend it. So
In the past, when it was more tribes. And
yeah, thousands of years ago, before Babylon took over.
So this has become a video.
You're just sitting there filming me, or you even zoomed out.
It looks good.
You're just zooming out in on my face and making the beauty shine, huh?
This has been good.
Baby.
6 minutes 30. You wanted to make a video, no?
Yeah, but this is not the video I wanted to make. I wanted to talk about the Swedish website in Swedish.
Say it then.
But it's called, in Swedish, it's called Skogsskafferiet. It means the woods. Skafferiet is like the thing where we like put our spices and all the things in a locker where you keep all the baking things and.
Like a spice rack.
No, a cabin.
Oh, cabinet.
Yeah, cabinet. So the woods cabinet, basically, almost like more a word for where you keep your flour and all these things.
It's called pantry in English.
Yeah, pantry. The woods pantry is what the website's called if you translate it. And it shows all the seasons and which season all the wild things you can eat and harvest from the trees and stuff that like you. I personally had no idea that you could eat like birch leaves, and that's salad. And if you put birch leaves in water for a few days, it becomes shampoo. And probably the best shampoo you've ever tried in your life because it's fully natural. It's just water, and those leaves even have this ingredient inside that makes it foamy. So it even feels like real shampoo, and you get foamy in your hair, and it feels amazing. And I read a person that did it, and he was like, "It's the best thing I ever did." Like changed from bullshit chemical shampoos to a natural birch tree shampoo that he did himself, and it was like the easiest thing ever to do. Also, it's like cool. I'm saving money, saving my hair, and having fun and being healthy. Like it was just a benefit. There was no side effect with it at all. Fuck the Babylon shampoos.
No poo. You're reading about that now. It's like an article most people have found, no poo. And it's like the original thing that came along in my life, at least, that got me thinking about why do we use shampoo with all these different chemicals and all these things inside. It's not actually good for us. And they reference that in what you were reading about.
Oh, I don't remember exactly.
No.
Oh, it's amazing, but there was more things. We're gonna do the pine things. Did you realize the word different between the Christmas tree and the pine trees that we were looking at? There's two types of pine trees in Sweden. One that's like the Christmas one that goes all the way down like a Christmas tree.
It's not just in Sweden, it's just that the names are different in Sweden and in English apparently.
They're just pine trees, both of them, basically.
Well, there was some
difference
like between a fir and a pine.
Yeah, and I think we're doing the fir, if I'm not completely wrong. But you take the needles from it. The one that has 2 needles, not the small Christmas trees. You cook them in water for 20 minutes and you have a vitamin C drink.
That's cool.
Full with minerals and other stuff also. There's like so many things that we don't know around us, and the whole thing that I was making in my video earlier that I cancelled, and I'm gonna make a new one later because people started coming and making noises. So I was like, fuck it. Was that no matter your biology, the country you live in is the things you should eat around you, and it doesn't matter how your immune system works or what DNA you have or what genes you have, because it's about the bacteria in the soil and in the air and on the trees. And if you eat the things naturally wild around you, you're gonna get all the mineral and the vitamins made for exactly for that climate, and then you don't get sick.
And if you live somewhere for long enough, the plants growing around you are the plants you need to treat the illnesses you may have.
Yeah, the nature will adapt to you, even. But I think in general, the diseases you get is only because you're missing the natural minerals and vitamins that are growing around you for that climate. And the whole thing that I was saying in the video is crazy, that most people's food is not even from their country. We're eating stuff from Spain, Holland.
This makes me cray.
And all this because we live in a mass-produced society. Just like 100 years ago, if even that, 70 years ago, people would have raw food.
I
Potatoes.
think even like 10, 20
and
years ago.
even like in Poland and Latvia, where you are from the beginning, like Dimitri that works on our farm, for him, he knew all these things about birch. The salad leaves, the sap. You can take a certain between May and June or something. Not now, it's too cold. And then it's like the most healthy syrup drink ever, or juice, whatever you want to call it, filled with all the things you actually, our physical body actually needs to stay healthy. So it's like just going back to our old ways and studying it properly. Wild stuff, like wild nature, is edible. We just somehow told ourselves that the trees growing around us serve no purpose except giving us air. And that's completely
Which is a pretty good purpose if they ever had one.
Yeah, but they're way more complex than that.
Of course they are.
Otherwise, it would just be the same tree everywhere.
Of course.
Not 5 million
some
different
of them
species.
are fruit trees, some of them are nut trees, some of them
And
are
it's
for
not
the
only like the
birds.
wood or the paper and different woods and papers, it's the vitamins and minerals and all the things, the leaves and everything. It's all medicines. And we all forgot about it. And this website is really cool. So if you're Swedish, you can link the thing maybe in the description.
Yeah. Oh, Ariel has messaged us.
Whoa. He doesn't like his name on YouTube.
On YouTube?
He doesn't. You just said his name. He's like low key. Like,
yeah, but nobody knows who I
That's-
mean.
that's
It could
true.
be any Ariel in the fucking
It's
world.
true. I was just being paranoid because he always told me like no face in YouTube, no things. He's like
Yeah.
maximum my voice, like
Yeah.
maximum my voice. I don't want my face on the internet. The people
So-
coming to pick up the dogs now.
They're here. You
And
want to
you
say
got lost
goodbye?
with the dogs, so you made it. And now they're here. You're gonna give away the dog.
You're going to say goodbye?
All the love, peace out, stay blessed.
Who's a sleepy being?
I'm really tired.
You did really good. You did 13 minutes of insightful blah blah blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah.
Blah 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 blah.